Hello everyone. Think about a problem you have faced recently, big or small. Now imagine if you could solve it, not just for yourself but for many. That's the essence of entrepreneurship. And today we are going to explore and introduce you to entrepreneurship. From idea to business launch, and in this course, we'll unpack the entire life cycle of a startup. From identifying real needs and validating your solution to building your product, finding your market, and securing crucial funding. We'll cover it all. This session is designed to equip you with foundational knowledge and practical strategies you will need to transform your innovative ideas into thriving business. Let's begin charting your course. Our journey today is structured into 8 critical phases, mirroring the typical life cycle of a startup. We'll begin by setting the stage with an introduction to the startup journey, understanding its unique characteristics. Then we will dive into a crucial step of ideation and validation, how to discover truly valuable problems and test your solution. Next, we'll explore product development and the MVP, focusing on creating a lean, testable solution. Following that, we move into marketing and strategy, defining your market and how to compete. Go to the market strategy will be cover the practical steps of reaching and acquiring customers. We'll then tackle financial planning and funding, understanding the economics of your venture. Building the right organization and attracting top talent is next. Finally, we'll conclude with the vital process of creating a robust business plan and pitch the deck. This is a comprehensive roadmap designed to equip you with foundation knowledge. Before we dive into intricate journey of building a startup, let's take a foundational step back and truly define what is entrepreneurship. It's a term we hear frequently, often associated with the tech billionaires or groundbreaking inventions. However, its essence is far broader and more accessible than you might think. It is core entrepreneurship is the dynamic process of identifying, creating, and seizing opportunity to develop, organize, and manage a new venture. This pursuit often involves a significant degree of innovation and it always entails taking on financial and other risks in the hope of generating profit or achieving a meaningful impact. Let's break this down into few key pillars that truly defines the entrepreneurial spirit. Firstly, entrepreneurship is fundamentally about problem solving. This is where it begins. Entrepreneurs possess a unique ability to see friction, inefficiency, or an unmet need, where others might simply see an annoyance or nothing at all. They are curious, observant, and constantly asking, what if there was a better way? It's about deeply understanding customer pain points and society gaps. Secondly, it's not just about solving problems, but crucially about innovation and value creation. This means developing a solution that is novel, more effective, more efficient, and more accessible than what currently exists. This act of creation generates new, tangible value for your customers, for your industry, and ultimately for the society as a whole. It's about bringing something new and beneficial into the world. Third and often misunderstood is calculated risk taking. Entrepreneurs are not reckless gamblers. Instead, they are masters of assessing risks, understanding potential downsides, and then strategizing to mitigating those risks. They take intelligent, informed leaps of faith into an uncertain future driven by conviction in their vision and their ability to execute. And fourth, it involves incredible resource mobilization. Often entrepreneurs start with very little. They must creatively and persistently marshal various resources, human talent, financial capital, intellectual property, and even physical assets, often from scratch, to transfer an idea into tangible reality. It's about doing more with less and building from the ground up. Let's begin to understand the typical life cycle of a startup. It starts with idea or conception where the initial spark of the idea or a problem you want to solve emerges. This leads into the seed or validation stage where you begin to develop a rudimentary product or services and crucial test its viability in the market. If successful, you enter an early stage or growth phase characterized by intense focus on scaling operations and achieving what's known as a product market fit, ensuring your solution truly resonates with a large customer base. Following growth, and some startups reach maturity or expansion, becoming established players with potential for diversification into new markets or products. And finally, every startup eventually reaches an exit or continuity phase, which could mean being acquired by a large company, going to public through an IPO, or simply evolving into a stable, enduring business. Understanding these stages helps you anticipate challenges and plan your journey. Within the startup life cycle, there is a notoriously challenging phase often called as the Valley of Death. This is a crucial period where the startup, having exhausted its initial funding or bootstrapping capital, struggles to generate sufficient revenue to become self-sustaining. You can visualize it on a graph. After an initial funding peak, there is a rapid burn rate or cash, leading to deep drought of negative cash flow. The valley is characterized by very high operational costs, often slower than expected revenue growth, and significantly difficult in securing follow-on funding because you haven't yet proven your viability. Navigating this valley requires meticulous financial planning, incredible lean operation, and as well discuss rapid validation to demonstrate market transactions. Many promising startups, unfortunately, perish in this valley due to lack of cash, making it pivotal challenge for every founder. It's a sobering but necessary exercise to understand why startup falls. While innovating is celebrated, the reality is that many ventures don't make it. The number one reason often cited is no market need, essentially building something nobody truly wants or needs. This is followed closely by running out of cash, often due to poor financial planning or an unstable burn rate. Another critical factor is not having the right team. Lacking complementary skills, experience internal conflicts, or having weak leadership structure. Startups can also get auto-competed if they fail to differentiate, innovate, or adapt to market changes. Pricing issues. Either setting the prices too high for the market or too low to sustain operations can be fatal. And poor product, one of the bad user experience, lacking essential features, or failing to solve problem effectively will inevitably lead to failure. Understanding these pitfalls allows us to focus our efforts on mitigating these risks from the onset. At the heart of every successful startup is innovation. But innovation isn't a single thing, it exists on a spectrum. We can talk about incremental innovation, which involves small, continuous improvements to existing products or service, like a new phone model with a slightly better camera. Then there is radial innovation, which introduces entirely new products or services into existing markets, often creating significant shifts, like the very first smartphone. And finally, perhaps the most impactful is disruptive innovation. This creates entirely new market and value networks, often by offering simpler, more convenient, or more affordable solution, eventually displacing established incumbents. Think Netflix disrupting blockbusters. Managing innovation means fostering a culture where ideas are encouraged, tested, and iterated upon. It's not just about one big idea, it's about continuous progress. Why this is important? Because continuous innovation is key to survival, sustainable growth, maintaining a competitive advantage, and ultimately achieving market leadership. Moving from the broad landscape to the very beginning of your venture, the golden rule is startup land is user or customer centricity. This means you build for the customer, not for yourself. Your brilliant idea might seem perfect for you, but if it doesn't resonate with your target users, it's destined to fail. Why is this so vital? Because customer centricity ensures you are solving real problems that people genuinely care about. It creates genuine demand and willingness to pay. It's what ultimately drives adoption and loyalty, turning users into advocates. And it significantly reduces the risk of market rejection, which one of the top reasons that startups fail. To be truly customer centric, you need deep empathy of your users, practice active listening, and build continuous feedback loops into everything you do. It's the mindset that permeates every stage of your business. To be customer centric, you must first precisely identify who your customers and users are. It's important to note that key distinction. A user is someone who directly interacts with your product or service, while a customer is the one who pays for it. Sometimes they are the same person, but often, especially in B2B or multi sided platforms, they are different. Once you understand this, you can start building personas. These are semi frictional representation that your ideal user or customer based on real data and some educated guesses. You will define their demographic, age, location, income, education are some of those. Crucially, you will dive into their psychographics, which include their values, attitude, interests, and lifestyles. What is that drives them? What do they believe in? You'll also analyze their behaviors such as their daily habits, their underlying motivations, their specific pain points, and your solution to address them, their goals, and what existing solution they currently use. Finally, consider specific use cases, which is how you could personally actually interact with and benefit from your solution. The more detailed your personas are, the better you can tailor your product and marketing. With your customers identified, the next critical step is problem definition. This might sound obvious, but there are many startups that stumble. As the saying goes, a well defined problem is half the solution. Conversely, building a solution to a poorly defined or non existent problem is a recipe for disaster. Why is it so crucial? It prevents you from wasting time and resources on something nobody needs. It helps us focuses your efforts on what truly matters to your potential users. How do you effectively define a problem? It starts with empathy, truly understanding the user's world or challenges. Observe people in their natural environment, watch them struggle with current solutions or everyday tasks. Listen actively during interviews, asking why repeatedly to get the root cause, not just the surface symptom. Finally, synthesize your findings and articulate the problem clearly and concisely. For examples, users are currently unable to effectively manage their personal finances because existing tools are too complex, leading to missed savings, opportunities, and stress. A clear problem statement acts as your guiding star. Once you have clear problem and customer understanding, the customer value proposition, which is the CVP, canvas is invaluable tool for designing, testing, and ultimately delivering what customers truly want. It has two main sides. One is the right customer profile, where you dive deep into the customer's world and you identify their customer jobs, what tasks they are trying to get it done, functionality, socially or emotionally. You then pinpoint their pains, what bothers them before, during, after trying to get those jobs done. These are undesired outcomes, risks, or obstacles. And finally, their gains. What are the outcomes, the benefit they desire, ranging from required to unexpected, or the left side of your value map, where you define your offering. Here you list your products and services, the specific thing you offer, then how your offerings act as pain relievers, explicitly addressing and elevating your customer's pain and how they serve as a gain creator, producing the outcomes and benefits your customer desires. Ultimate goal of using this canvas is to achieve problem solution fit, a strong element between your value proposition and your customer segment. This canvas helps you visualize and refine that fit systematically. Before designing your actual product, it's beneficial to perform value chain analysis. This concept, popularized by Michael Porter, describes all the activities a business performs to create a product or service from initially raw materials to final deliver and after sales services. It's broken down into primary activities like inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, marketing and sales, and services provided and support activities such as infrastructure, HR management, technology development, and procurement. For a startup, understanding the value chain is immensely powerful. It helps you identify opportunities for efficiency or innovation within existing industry process. It allows you to pinpoint precisely where you add unique value that others don't. You can clearly understand your dependencies with various partners and supply along the chain. And ultimately, it enables you to optimize your cost structure by identifying inefficiencies. By mapping out the entire process, you gain a strategic perspective on where your product will fit and how it will deliver its value. We touched upon the minimum viable product or MVP earlier. Now let's focus on specifying on its design principle. MVP design is all about building lean and smart for the sole purpose of learning. To recap, an MVP is smallest, most focused version of your product or services that delivers core value to customers, specifically allowing you to validate a primary hypothesis with real users. It's about launching the minimum necessary to learn effectively. When designing your MVP, always focus intensely on the core problem you're solving. What's the single most important job your customer needs to get it done? Your MVP should solve that exceptionally well and nothing else initially. This leads to principle of minimum features, ruthless strips away anything non-essential. The mantra here is truly less is more. Every added feature complicates development and delays learning. Even with minimal features, ensure the core user flow is smooth and intuitive. The primary path a user takes to achieve the core value should be seamless, even if the surrounding features are absent or clunky. Crucially, every feature you include in your MVP should be tied to the testable hypothesis, something you need to learn or validate about your users or the market. You are conducting an experiment and finally prioritize speed to market above all else. The goal is to get it out quickly to gather real-world feedback, not to spend months perfecting it in isolation based on assumption. MVPs can take many forms depending on your business. For a software idea, it might be just simple landing page to gauge email signups for interest. For a service, it could be manually conquered service where you manually perform the core function for a few early customers to understand the process. It could be in a single feature app that solves one pain point exceptionally well, or even just a detailed demo or prototype. The object is always the same: to learn as much as possible with least amount of effort and resources, and to do it quickly. Once your minimum viable product is built and released to small group of early adopters, the crucial phase of MVP validation begins. This is where you put your hypothesis to the test and learn from real users in the market. The primary purpose of MVP validation is to prove that your core value proposition truly resonates with the targeted audience and that your initial solution actually solves their problems in a way they find valuable and crucial, are willing to pay for it. It's about getting tangible evidence that you are on the right track. How do you go through validating your MVP and gathering these crucial insights? You'll utilize a combination of methods. First, you will meticulously analyze usage data. This involves tracking how users interact with your MVP using analytic tools. Heat maps that show where users click and scroll, and sessions recordings to observe their actual behavior. This provides quantitative insights into the user's engagement. Second, you will actively collect direct feedback through follow-ups. interviews with your early adopters, targeting surveys that ask specific questions, or in-app feedback forms. This provides rich quantitative insights into their experiences and frustrations. Third, you can leverage A/B testing, especially for digital products, allowing you to compare different versions of a feature, a button, or user flow. You can see which performs better in achieving your desired outcomes, and critically, you'll monitor conversational rates, which are users taking the desired actions like signing up, completing a key task, upgrading to a paid tier, or making a purchase. This is your ultimate validation of interest and value. All this data, both quantitative and qualitative, feeds directly back into the build, measure, learn loop that we discuss. It's a continuous iterative cycle. You build to measure the results, you learn from those results, and then you see the learning to inform your next iteration, deciding whether to pivot your strategy or preserve with your current direction. This iterative process is the cornerstone of successful product development and market adoption in a startup, ensuring you're constantly refining your solution based on real-world evidence. Now that we have discussed developing your product, let's turn to understanding the landscapes you'll operate in. Your market. A crucial exercise for any startup, especially when seeking investment or setting strategic goals in market seizing, often broken down into TAM, SAM, and SOM. This helps you understand a true scale of your opportunity and guides your strategic planning. First, the total addressable market, or TAM. This represents the absolute maximum revenue opportunity if 100% of the relevant market adopted your product or services. It's usually calculated using top-down approach, looking at the entire global or national expenditure in your industry. For example, if you're building a new online learning platform, your TAM might be entire global market for online education. It gives you a sense of the ultimate theoretical ceiling. Next, we have serviceable available market, which is SAM. This is more realistic figure, the portion of the vast TAM that you can actually reach and serve with your current business model. Given factors like your geographical reach, your specific distribution channels, or your particular product offerings. So if your online learning platform initially targets users only in India, your SAM would be the online education market in India. It narrows the focus to your accessible segment. Finally, and perhaps the most importantly for an early stage setup, it is serviceable, obtainable market, which is the SOM. This is the most conservative and realistic figure, the portion of the SAM that you can realistically capture within your early years, say next 3 to 5 years. Given your current resources, your competitive landscape, and your specific go-to market strategy, this is often calculated using a bottom approach, focusing on specific segments or customers you are confident you can acquire. For our online learning platform, it might be portion of Indian online learners within a specific demographics that you can realistically attract in the first 3 years. Understanding TAM, SAM, and SOM is vital for several reasons. It's critical for attractive investors as it demonstrates a clean market opportunity. It helps you set realistic growth goals for your team, and it sharply focuses your marketing efforts on most viable segments. It moves beyond a vague idea of a big market to concrete, measurable opportunity that you can strategize around. In today's high competitive landscape, your ability to differentiate yourself is absolutely paramount. Differentiation strategies are essential. Your answer to the core question, why should customer choose you over other competitors? Simply having a product is rarely enough. There are several powerful ways to achieve this distinction and stand out in the crowd market. One approach is cost leadership, where your primarily differentiation is offering the lowest price in the market. This often requires immense operational efficiency, large scale, or proprietary cost advantages to be sustainable. However, for many startups, this is difficult to achieve initially. More commonly, for innovative startups, it's about product differentiation, offering unique features, superior quality, innovative design, advanced technology, or a level of performance that competitors simply lack or can't match. Think of a smartphone with a revolutionary new camera system. Then there is service differentiation, where you provide an exceptional, superior customer experience, personalized support, unique delivery models, or unparalleled conveyance that builds strong loyalty. You could also pursue niche differentiation, which involves focusing intensely on serving a highly specific, often underserved market segment where you can become the undisputed leader even if the overall market is smaller. This allows you to tailor your offering perfectly. And finally, brand differentiation is incredibly powerful. This is about creating a strong brand identity, a compelling story, and emotional connection with your audience that transcends mere product features or price. A strong brand can create immense stickiness, perceived value, and customer loyalty. Your chosen differentiation strategy must be clear, compelling, consistently communicated across all touchpoints, and crucially difficult for competitors to replicate. This is your unique value proposition brought into life. Beyond just sizing the market, you need to access its market potential. It is a fertile ground for sustainable growth for your specific type of innovation. Consider the inherent growth rate of the industry you are entering. A rapidly expanding market makes it significantly easier for new players to thrive and gain market share. Are there favorable macro and micro trends, technological shifts, demographic changes, regulatory shift, or evolving customer preferences that will propel your market forward and create tailwinds for your business? And importantly, are there significant untapped needs or underserved segments within the market that you can capture and grow into rather than just competing head on in an already saturated space? Simultaneously, you must relentlessly think about your sustainable competitive advantage. What makes you truly defensible against exciting competitors and further entrants? This is not moat, something that protects your business and makes it difficult for other people to replicate your process. It could be prohibited technology or intellectual property like patents, unique algorithms, or exclusive designs that give your legal or functional edge. It might be network effects where the value of your product or service inherently increases as much more users join, making it incredibly difficult for competitors to catch up once you reach critical mass. Strong brand loyalty and excellent reputation built over time through consistent delivery of value can be immense barriers to enter for rivals. Unique cost advantages through proprietary processes, economics of scales, or exclusive supplier relationship that create a powerful competitive edge. Deep, personalized customer relationships that are built on trust and exceptional service can also be incredibly hard to replicate. And finally, a truly strong and unique team with irreplaceable talent, specific domain experts, or a singular vision can be significant competitive advantage in itself. Identifying, building, and continuously reinforcing these defensively advantage is absolutely crucial for your long-term survival, growth, and profitability. Central to your entire marketing and communication strategy is defining your unique selling proposition or USP. This is a distinct essence of your differentiation. Your USP is the single most compelling benefit of your product or service that explicitly sets you apart from your competitors, and crucially, it is directly address a key, often unmet customer needs. Think of it as your distinct promise to your customer where why they should choose you and no one else. What makes USP truly strong and effective? First, it must be genuine, unique. This means no one else offers it in the precisely the same way or you deliver it with a distinct advantage that's hard to copy. Second, it needs to be incredibly compelling. It must solve a major pain point for your target audience or provide such a significant gain that they feel they must have your solution. Third, it is to be clear and concise. Can you articulate it in a few powerful words that are easy for anyone to understand and remember? Avoid jargon or overly technical language. And finally, it absolutely must be credible. You have to be able to deliver on that promise consistently every single time. It's not just marketing slogan, it's fundamental aspect of your product or service. Think about successful brand. What's Domino's Pizza classic USP? Pizza delivers to your door in 30 minutes or it's free. It's unique, compelling, clear and credible. For a software product, it might be the only CRM designed specifically for freelance artists, simplifying client management and project tracking. Identifying your USP forces you to crystallize your core value and communicate it powerfully and consistently to your market, cutting through the noise and attracting the right customers. Once you have your product defined and your differentiation strategy in place, you need to establish a robust pricing strategy. This is an incredibly complex and crucial aspect of your business model. It's about finding the sweet spot that balances the perceived value for the customer with the cost incurred by your business. The core question you must answer is what price captures sufficient value for your business while remaining attractive and justifiable to your customer. There are several common pricing strategies, each with its own advantages and disadvantages. Cost plus pricing is one of the simplest. You take your production cost and add a fixed percentage markup. While easy to calculate, it often ignores the customer's perceived value and what market is willing to pay. Far more strategic is value-based pricing, where you set a price based on perceived value for your solution delivered to the customer rather than just your internal costs. This often offers the highest profit potential because you are pricing based on the benefit to your customer. Competitive pricing involves setting your price to match or slightly undercut your competitors, but this can easily lead to damaging price wars where everyone loses. For digital products and services, freemium models are popular. You offer a basic version of your product for free to attract a large user base, then charge for advanced feature or premium accesses. This is excellent for user acquisition. Subscription models provide predictable recurring revenue, which is highly attractive to investors and can build a strong customer loyalty over the time. Don't underestimate psychological pricing, which leverages consumer behavior such as ending prices in 99 cents or $9.99 instead of 10, or offering bundle deals. When choosing your pricing strategy, you can carefully consider your target customer segments and their price sensitive, the overall competitive landscape, and what rivals are charging you truly production costs, both fixed and variable. The perceived value of your product is the market, and your overall brand positioning are your premium value or budget offering. Pricing is not one-time decision. It often requires continuous testing, adjustment, and deep understanding of your market dynamics. With your product and core strategy in place, the next critical phase is to go to the market, which is GTM strategy. This is not just a marketing plan, it's a holistic, comprehensive, and actionable blueprint that details exactly how your company will reach its target customers and achieving a sustainable competitive advantage. It's about translating your strategic decisions into operational tactics and execution. A strong GTM strategy typically moves through several interconnected key stages, forming a customer journey funnel. First, there's creating awareness. How to make sure your target customers even know you exist. This is about cutting through the noise and getting noticed. second, once they are aware, it's about reaching customer. How do you ensure they can easily find your product or service through the right channel and at the right time? Third, and perhaps the most direct, acquiring customers. What specific tactics and processes you will use to convert that interest into actual purchases, sign-ups or subscriptions. This is where the scale happens. And finally, a crucial, often overlooked stage for a long-term success is servicing and retaining customers. How do you keep them happy and loyal over the time? Turning them into repeat business advocates and stable revenue base. The importance of well-defined GTM strategy cannot be overstated. It ensures efficiency resource allocation, guiding where you invest your limited time and money for maximum impact. It provides a clear roadmap for all your teams, sales, marketing, product and operation, ensuring everyone is aligned, and it fosters coordinated efforts, preventing fragmented or conflicting actions. Without a strong GTM strategy, you're essentially just throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping something sticks. With it, you will have a deliberately measurable plan to connect your valuable solution with customers who needs it the most. Let's dive deeper into the practical strategies for the first two phases of your go-to-market plan. Firstly, we have creating awareness and reaching customers. Creating awareness is about making sure your target audience knows you exist and understand what you offer. This involves a range of activities. Content marketing is incredibly powerful, creating valuable, relevant, and consistent blogs, videos, guides, or infographics that naturally attract your audience by providing solutions to their problems even before they know your product. Social media marketing, both organic engagement through compelling posts and stories and targeted paid campaigns, is crucial for building visibility and engaging directly with your audience. PR and media relations can generate invaluable earned media coverage in reputable publications, positioning you as a credible player and thought leader in your industry. Influencer marketing leverages individuals who have significant swag and trust with your target audience, allowing you to reach their engaged followers authentically. And participating in events and conferences can provide direct exposure, networking opportunities, and a chance to demo your product face to face. Once you are aware, you need to think about reaching the customers through specific channels where they spend their time. This includes a mix of digital channels such as your own professional website, optimizing for SEO, which is search engine optimization, so you appear high in organic search result when people look for a solution like yours, running SEM, which is search engine marketing, and leveraging email marketing to nurture leads and build direct relationships. Don't overlook offline channels where applicable, such as forging strategic retail partnerships to gain shelf space, building a direct sale team for high valuable B2B solutions, or organizing physical pop-up events. And finally, considering appropriate distribution channels, whether it's listening to your products or major e-commerce platforms, working with traditional distributors, or utilizing sales agents to get your product into hands of your customers effectively. A multi-channel approach often yields the best results. Now let's focus on final and in many ways the most critical phases of your go-to market strategy: acquiring customers and then servicing and retaining them. Acquiring customers means actively converting interested prospects into paying clients or active users. This involves several key tactics such as conversational rate optimization, which is a CRO, is about meticulously analyzing and streamlining your website, app, or sales process to make it easy as possible for users to take the desired action, whether it's signing up, making a purchase, or downloading your app. It involves optimizing your calls to action and user's journey. You'll also need to focus on sales funnel optimization, effectively nurturing leads through each stage. From initial interest to final purchase, offering compelling trial or freemium offers can significantly lower the barrier to enter, allowing the potential customers to experience your value firsthand before committing to the purchase. A powerful referral programs can leverage your existing satisfied customers to become your best marketers, bringing a new high qualified leads through word of mouth. But acquisition is truly one half the battle. Servicing and retaining customers is arguably even more important for a long term, sustainable growth and profitability, as retaining an existing customer is often far more cost effective than acquiring a new one. This starts with providing exceptional customer support, which is being highly responsive, empathetic, and effective at solving problems quickly. Robust and intuitive onboarding programs are vital to guide new users to successfully adopt and find initial value in your products or service, preventing early churn. Implementing loyalty programs and incentives rewards repeat business and encourages continued engagement. Community building fosters a sense of belonging among your users, turning them into advocates who support each other and your brand. And finally, continuous products improvement is absolutely key to staying relevant, meeting evolving customer needs, and addressing pain points before they lead to churn. This holistic approach ensures you not only gain customers but keep them delighted and engaged for a long haul. Finally, within your go-to market strategy, let's talk about branding. This is far more than just designing a catchy logo or choosing a memorable name. Your brand is sum total of all perceptions people have in your own company or product. It is fundamental, your promise to the customer. It's the emotional and rational connection people from with you offering. What does the vital concept entail? It starts with your brand name and logo, which are your initial points of recognition and visual identity in the market. But it delves much deeper into the brand story and mission. What are you truly standing for? What specific problem are you passionate about solving, and why? Your unique journey, your values, your purpose resonate deeply with your audience and make you distinct. Then there's your brand voice and tone. How you communicate consistently across all channels, whether it's your website, social media, customer emails, or even advertising. Is it formal, playful, authoritative, empathetic? Consistency builds familiarity and trust. And most importantly, your brand experience encompasses every single interaction a customer has with your business, from their very first click on your website to the product's usability to their experience with your customer services to the way your packaging feels. Every touchpoint shapes perception. Why does this all matter? A strong, authentic brand builds immense trust with your audience, fosters deep customer loyalty, and withstands competitive pressure and crucially enables powerful differentiation in a crowded market beyond just features or price. It can even allow you to command premium pricing because customers perceive higher value and are willing to pay for the promise. Furthermore, a compelling brand significantly aids in attracting top talent who wants to be a part of something meaningful and impactful. Branding is an ongoing investment in your long-term relationship with your market and is fundamental to long-term success. Now we have transitioned to a critical aspect of any business: financial planning and funding. It begins with a thorough understanding of your costs, the various expenses of doing businesses which directly impact your pricing and profitability. Costs are generally categorized in few key ways. First, fixed costs. These are expenses that do not change in the short term, regardless of your production volume or sales level within a relevant operating range. Think of your monthly office or a factory rent, annual insurance premiums, stable salaries of your core administrative or management staff who aren't directly involved in production, or depreciation of your heavy equipment. They are committed expenses that you incur irrespective of how much you sell. Secondly, we have variable costs. These are expenses that change directly in proportion to the level of production or sales volume. The more units you produce or services you deliver, the higher your variable cost will be. Examples include the cost of raw materials for each product you manufacture, the direct labor involved in assembling each item, packaging costs per unit, or sales commission paid on each sale. As your sales scale up or down, these costs fluctuate accordingly. Finally, don't overlook startup costs. These are the distinct one-time expenses you incur before your business even begins generating revenue or fully operating. This can include crucial legal fees or incorporating your businesses and protecting intellectual property. The initial purchase of essential equipment or software license, significantly research and development expenses to perfect your product. Initial office setup or renovation costs, or buying your very first batch of inventory. Understanding these different cost categories is absolutely crucial for accurate pricing of your products or services, effective budgeting to manage your cash flow, and ultimately determining your path to profitable and sustainable. Miscalculating costs can quickly lead to financial disasters, even if your product is excellent. Equally important is to understand your costs is understanding revenue. The lifeblood of any business, representing how money actually flows into your company. Revenue is defined as the total income generated from primary businesses activities before any expense is deducted. It's a top line number on your financial statements indicating the total value of sales over a period. Startups can generate revenue from a variety of revenue streams, and choosing the right ones is fundamental to your business model. The most straightforward is sales revenue, which comes directly from selling your physical products or delivering your service on one-time basis. Increasingly common are subscription revenues, which are customer pay a recurring fee, which is monthly or annually for continued access to a product, content, or service, providing high predictable cash flow. Think of software as a service, which is SaaS companies or streamlined platform. If you have valuable intellectual property, which is IP like patent technologies or copyrighted content, you might explore licensing revenue, granting others permission to use your IP in exchange. Licensing revenue, granting other permission to use your IP in exchange for fees or loyalties. Business built on audience or traffic, such as content websites or mobile apps, often generate advertising revenue by selling ad space or impressive platforms that facilitate transaction between multiple parties. Might earn commission or fees, taking a percentage of each transaction proceed through their services. As we discussed, freemium models allow you to monetize by offering a basic version of your product for free and then charging for advanced features or premium accesses. Factors influencing your revenue are numerous and interconnected. Your chosen price strategy, the sales volume you achieve, and overall market demand for your solution, and your effectiveness in customer acquisition and retention. A clear understanding of your revenue streams and the drivers behind them is absolutely fundamental to building a sustainable and scalable business model. Without a solid revenue plan, even the most innovative solution will struggle to survive. The ultimate goal for any business beyond simple generating revenue is profitability. This means consistently generating more revenue than you incur in total costs. When we talk about profit, we look at different levels. Gross profit is your total revenue minus the direct cost of producing the goods or services you sell. What we call cost of goods, which is COGS. This tells you how much profit you make on actual product before overheads. Then there are operating profit, which takes your gross profit and subtract all your operating expenses, including fixed costs like rent, administrative salaries, research and development, and sales and marketing expenses. This shows profitability and your core operation. And finally, net profit is what left after you subtract the interest payments and taxes from operating profits. This is true bottom line profit available is to shareholders or reinvestments. The fundamental goal, of course, is that your total revenue is consistently greater than your total costs at every level. A crucial tool for understanding and planning for profitable, especially for startups, is break-even analysis. This identifies the point where your total revenue perfectly equals to your total costs, both fixed and variable. At this point, you are neither making a profit nor incurring a loss. You are simply breaking even. The formula for calculating your break-even point in units is quite straightforward. It's your fixed cost divided by your price per unit minus your valuable cost per unit. Understanding a break-even point is immensely important for startups because it directly helps you to determine the exact sales volume needed to cover all your expenses and avoid operating at a loss. It's a vital calculation for early stage businesses planning, allowing you to set realistic sales targets, and it's critical piece of information for communicating your viability and potential to prospective investors. It essentially tells you exactly how much product you need to sell just to survive before you even start making a dollar of profit. Once you understand your costs and revenue flow, you can accurately access your funding needs, how much capital you require to fuel your business growth and achieve your strategic milestone. This isn't just a random number, it's about determining how much cash is needed to reach specific significant milestones, like launching your minimum viable product, acquiring your first 100 customers, or achieving operational profitability. To do this, you need to understand your burn rate, which is how much your cash company you spends per month, and your runway, which is how many months you have until you run out of cash at your current burn rate. Knowing these numbers is precisely as crucial for survival and planning your fundraising efforts. Then you explore various funding resources. These typically evolve as your startup matures and demonstrate more transactions. The earliest stage often involves is bootstrapping, using your own personal savings or reinvesting initial revenue generated from sales. This means zero dilution of your ownership. Then comes capital from friends, family, and fools, which is FFF, which is initial capital from close connection who believes in you, often with more forgiving terms. As you gain more transaction and validating your market, you might seek angel investments, which are high net worth individual, often successful entrepreneurs themselves who invest their personal money in early stage startups, frequently providing valuable mentorship along with capital for a high growth, scalable startups with significant market potential. Venture capital firms provide institutional funds in exchange for significant equity stakes, typically in large rounds, debt financing, like traditional bank loans or lines of credit. Beyond overall financial projections, sophisticated investors and smart entrepreneurs scrutinize unit economics. This concept focuses on revenues and costs associated with a business individual unit. That unit could be single customer, a single product sold, a single subscription, or even single transaction. The fundamental question is, does each individual sale or customer relationship contribute positively to your bottom line? Key metric here include customer acquisition cost, which is CAC, which is total cost marketing sales, etc., which is divided by the number of new customers acquired. This tells you how much it costs to bring one new person in. Then there is customer lifetime value, which is LTM, which is total revenue a customer is expected to generate over their entire relationship with your business. The most crucial metric is LTV CAC ratio. Ideally, this ratio should be greater than 3:1, meaning for every dollar you spend to acquire a customer, they generate at least $3 in lifetime value. Below this, your growth may be not sustainable. You also look at your gross margin per unit, The revenue from the unit minus its variable cost. Why is unit economics so important? Because it predicts long-term profitability and scalability. If your individual unit economics don't work, if it costs you more to acquire a customer, then they will ever generate a new revenue. That is, when your business simply won't scale profitably no matter how many customers you acquire, it's a critical indicator of a healthy, sustainable business model. As the startup progresses, you move from a solo effort to building the organization, which is a team that will bring your vision to life. This starts with designing your organizational structure. In an early stage, startups typically adopt a flat and agile structure. There are very few layers of management, allowing for incredibly quick decision making and direct communication. It is often founder led, which initiate roles overlapping based on founder's strength. The focus is on core functional areas like sales, product development, and marketing. However, as you begin scaling your structure, you will need to transition. You will see the emergence of departmentalization, formalizing function into distinct teams, like a dedicated engineering department or marketing department. A clearer hierarchy will emerge with defined reporting lines as a team grows. You'll also likely implement cross functional teams to collaborate on specific projects or product initiatives. Key consideration in designing your structure include ensuring efficient communication flow, maintaining decision-making speed, establishing clear roles and responsibilities for everyone, and ensuring the structure remains flexible to adapt as your business evolves. Fundamentally, your organization structure is the framework that supports your growth and defines how people work together and communicate deeply, impacting your company and culture. Your product and strategy are nothing without the right people. Attracting and retaining talent is arguably your greatest asset as a startup. Your team drives innovation, executes strategy, and ultimately builds your culture. So now that you attract the best, especially in early stages when resources might be limited, it starts with articulating a truly compelling vision and mission. Why should they join you in your cause over a large, more sustainable company? Often, startups offer equity in stocks options, allowing early employees to share in their future success and ownership of the company. This is a powerful incentive. A strong positive culture and clearly defined values creates an environment where people want to work and thrive. Highlight learning and growth opportunities, showing a clear pathway for their personal and professional development, emphasize the impact they can have. The opportunity to make a significant difference in a small, agile environment, and leverage your existing network and referrals for early hires. Once you have great talent, retaining them is a key. This involves offering competitive compensation as you grow, providing autonomy and ownership over their work, consistent recognition and appreciation for their contribution, and fostering a culture of continuous feedback and development. While startups demand a lot of aiming for sustainable work life balance, where possibly also aids retention. Your team is your competitive advantage. With the importance of talent established, let's talk about specific about team design and defining clearer roles and responsibilities in every stages of a startup. You often hear about the need to three core roles, though one founder might cover multiple. The hacker is your technical co-founder or lead responsible for actually building the product. The hustler is your business development, sales, marketing lead, and the one who sells the vision, acquires customers, and bring in revenue. And the hipster focuses on designs and user experience, ensuring the product is not just functional but also desirable, intuitive, and beautiful. Often founders initially embody multiple of these roles out of necessity. As you grow, you'll start expanding roles to include dedication, operation, finance, HR, legal, and customer support functions based on your evolving business needs and scaling phases. The key principle for designing effective teams are paramount. Clear role definition. Everyone needs to know exactly who does what to avoid overlap or critical gaps. Foster accountability where each person owns their results. Ensure open, honest, and frequent communication to keep everyone aligned. Build a foundation of trust. It's essential for seamless collaboration and always aim for complementary skills across your team to cover all critical areas needed for your business to succeed. We have covered a vast amount of ground today, touching upon every critical aspect of the startup journey. Now, how to do consolidate all this information into a coherent document? That's where the business plan comes in. This is a formal, comprehensive document that details your company's goals and crucial outlines precisely how it plans to achieve them. It serves as both internal roadmap for your team and essential external communication tools for investors, partners, and even potential employees. A typical business plan comprises several key components. It starts with an executive summary, which is concise overview of the entire plan, through it always written last after all the sections are completed. Then comes your company description, outlining your mission, vision, and legal structure. A thorough market analysis section details your industry, target market, competitive landscapes, leveraging concepts like TAM, SAM, and SOM. The organization and management section covers your team, structure, and roles. Your service and product line details your offering, its features, and its unique selling proposition. The marketing and sales strategy lays out your go-to market plan, branding and customer acquisition tactics. Financial projections are crucial, covering your startup costs, revenue forecasts, profitability analysis, and funding needs. Finally, an appendix contains a supporting document like resumes, permits, and intellectual property documentations. The business plan is your strategic blueprint for an entire entrepreneurial voyage. Once you have drafted all components, finalizing the business plan involves a rigorous review and refinement process to maximize its impact. This is not just a copy editing exercise. First, critically access its clarity and consciousness. It is easy for anyone to understand, even someone outside your industry. Avoid jargon whatever possible. Ensure consistency across all sections. Do financial projections truly align with your marketing strategy and operation capacity? Questions in realism of your projectionness: are they achievable? And are you underlying assumption justified with data? Confirm its completeness. Have all critical areas been addressed from market analysis to team structure? And if this plan is for external purpose, ensure your call to action is crystal clear whether it's a specific funding amount you're seeking or a partnership proposal. It is highly recommended to seek feedback from the mentors, advisors, or even trusted friends who can act as a mock readers. Be genuinely open to constructive criticism. Remember, your business plan is an iterative process. It's a living document that will evolve as your business grows, as you gain more insights, as a market condition change. It's never truly done, but rather a dynamic tool for guiding your venture. While the business plan is your detailed blueprint, the pitch deck is your compelling highlight reel, your storytelling tool designed specifically for potential investors or partners. It's a brief visual representation that provides a quick, engaging overview of your business plan, designed to spark interest and open door to deeper conversation. A typical pitch deck follows a logical flow, often around 10 to 15 slides, each conveying a critical piece of information. You always start with the problem, clearly defining your pain point you're addressing. Then you are presenting your unique solution, your product or services. You'll detail in the market size and opportunity, often using TAM, SAM, and SOM figures. A crucial slide is the product or demo, which shows don't just tell how your solution works, ideally with visuals or a quick demonstration. Explain your business model, how you actually make money, outline your go-to market strategy, how you plan to reach and acquire customers, introduce your team, highlighting their expertise and why they are right people for this venture. Provide concise financial key projection and your funding asks. Brief touch on your competition and, more importantly, your unique advantages. Showcase your tractions and milestones.
what you have achieved so far to demonstrate progress and momentum. And finally, end with the ask, a clear, significant statement of what you need and exactly what you'll use it for to achieve defining milestone. For a greater picture, focus on storytelling to connect emotionally with your audience. Be incredibly concise. Less is more, aiming for a maximum of 10 to 15 slides. Use high quality, impactful visuals, not dense text, and most importantly, practice, practice, practice until you deliver it smooth, confident, and compelling. Your pitch deck is your gateway to fueling your startup's growth. We have covered an incredible amount of ground into our introduction to entrepreneurial journey today. Traversing the landscape from initial idea to detailed business planning, let's quickly recap the absolute key takeaways. Remember that the startup journey is phased and it's vital to understand challenging stages like the valley of death to proactive prepare for them. Customer-centric and rigorous problem validation are not just buzzwords. They are not negotiable foundations for building something truly valuable and avoiding waste effort. Always strive to learn with your MVP and prepare to iterate rapidly based on real market feedback. Embracing the build, measure, learn cycle. Define your market clearly, understand your unique differentiation, and build a strong brand that resonates emotionally with your audience. It is imperative to master your financial basics, especially unit economics, to ensure your growth is sustainable and profitable. Always remember your team is your greatest asset. Attracting, nurturing, and retaining top talent is paramount for execution. And finally, a robust business plan and compelling pitch deck are essential tools, not just for fundraising, but as a living document to guide your strategic decisions and communicate your vision effectively. These elements combined form the blueprint of the resilient and thriving startup. So that was it for introduction for entrepreneurship journey. We covered everything from starting up a journey to how to progress it throughout your lifetime access. Until next time, keep learning with Simplilearn.
Staying ahead in your career requires continuous learning and upskilling. Whether you're a student aiming to learn today's top skills or a working professional looking to advance your career, we've got you covered. Explore our impressive catalog of certification programs in cutting-edge domains, including data science, cloud computing, cybersecurity, AI, machine learning, or digital marketing. Designed in collaboration with leading universities and top corporations, and delivered by industry experts, choose any of our programs and set yourself on the path to career success. Click the link in the description to know more.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.